we'll eventually kind of forget that it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you again for agreeing to let me come observe your class. And which class did you decide you wanted me to come take a look at?
We're going to work with 7th grade?
Uh-huh.
7B.
Okay. And that's on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, first hour.
Okay, perfect. So after taking a look at some of the different possible focus areas for the observation, just go ahead and take your time and kind of look through those and let me know what area or areas you'd like me to focus on.
Okay, I'm thinking. Are these the same questions that are here? The same ones?
Yeah, it's the same categories.
One thing I think I'd like to do is I'd like you to focus on how I incorporate interaction in the classroom.
Okay.
Or is that like strategy? What is the difference between interaction and strategies? Maybe I need to know that first.
Okay, so here it's much more about, like, do you actually incorporate interaction?
Okay.
Like, are your lessons more like teacher focused or student focused, or do you, when you provide interaction, in what way is it structured? That
Okay.
tends to be more related to the strategies. Or what specific strategies do you use for students to learn the information?
Okay.
So maybe for some things you do pairing,
Okay.
which is a form of interaction. So they are kind of related.
Okay.
But this is kind of more about the how, like how
Okay.
you actually do it.
Mhm.
Whereas interaction itself is more like, are there opportunities for interaction in your lesson that maybe you're not taking advantage of? Like
Okay.
where they could be doing group work, but they're working independently, or you're giving direct instruction.
Okay, then I think I would prefer for you to look at the strategies.
Okay.
To see if the strategies I'm using are beneficial for what I'm teaching.
Okay, got it. So what exactly is your learning objective for the lesson?
The objective for this lesson is that students are able to take notes for research that they're conducting.
Okay. And how does that relate to like your larger transfer goals of your unit?
For this unit, my 7th graders are doing a 30-day challenge, and within the challenge that they're conducting themselves, they need to be researching their topic that their challenge revolves around. In the end of all this, I want them to be able to use evidence to support a point they're making, and I want them to also be working on their organization, being able to organize information in order to make their point.
Okay.
So I guess they're kind of 2 transfer goals. I hope this helps.
Okay. So that not only the use of evidence, but also how you organize that information
Yeah.
to make that point.
Right.
Okay. So the area of instructional practice that you asked me to take a look at were strategies. Here.
Mhm.
So are there any of these specific questions that you'd like for me to take a look at? Metacognitive strategies, or just in general?
I mean, I guess in general.
Okay.
I don't know, I guess any of the strategies that I'm using, do they seem effective?
Okay.
Or would there be a better strategy to use? Or if there's a place where maybe I'm not using a strategy that you think could be beneficial,
Okay.
let me know.
Got it. So what student learning outcomes or specific standards will be addressed?
This lesson, I think, focuses mostly on informational text, so reading an informational text and citing pieces of textual evidence. 7.1, citing several pieces of textual evidence.
So that's just a Common Core standard for like reading informational text, right?
Right.
Okay. Are you going to be using any technology during that lesson? Yes.
Nancy! Well, so, no, I printed off an article from NewsELA that we'll be using.
Okay.
For this lesson, they're not going to need to use technology. Now, the practice part that they're going to do after we go through the lesson, they will need to use their tablets then.
Okay.
So I guess that's the technology that'll be used.
And what will that look like? I know you're saying you printed off the article for the actual activity, but then I'm assuming you're going to kind of assess their learning through their individual practice that they're going to use their tablets with.
Right. So all of this is leading off of the research that they've begun. They've already found sources. They've done an initial research. So now with the sources that they have, we're going to focus a little more on each article and find details and from each article to use in their final project. So we're going to practice that together, and then the objective is for them to then go to the articles that they've already found and find the details that are going to be useful to their research.
Okay. So to kind of give me a better idea, like a preview of what's going to happen on Wednesday, could you kind of just walk me through the basic parts of the lesson?
Let's see. I think I've got it. So we're going to start off. We're going to look at, first we're going to review summarizing.
Okay.
So we're working with the 7th graders. They have done some summarizing in our class, but we haven't focused on it specifically. So we're going to watch a short Ed Puzzle video.
Okay.
I guess I am using other technology, aren't
Okay.
I? I'm going to give them a couple of questions that are going to be brought up in the actual video for them to be thinking about. We'll watch the video, which is about summarizing. They'll answer these questions based on the video. We'll talk about those. And then we're going to do a practice with an article. So they're going to work with a partner, and we'll actually read the article as a class, and then each partner or each pair is going to be given a certain section of that article that they will summarize.
All right.
And then we'll look at those summaries as a group. And then we're going to turn and focus more on taking research notes. Once we've reviewed what summarizing is, we're going to focus on, okay, so what are they going to be doing with the summarizing for their project, for their research. We're going to actually watch another Ed Puzzle video that's about taking like notes on a note card for research. Again, I'm going to give them some questions on a handout that the questions are going to come up on the video so they can preview those. Watch the video, we'll talk about the answers, and then they're going to do another practice. We'll look back at the same article that we reviewed as a whole class, and we're going to practice filling in a note card using that article.
Okay.
And then with time, the idea is that they then work individually with the articles that they already have and fill in their own note cards.
Got it. So you're really kind of starting out with the big picture skill, having them do some like whole class practice, partner practice, then moving to independent practice and applying it to their own research.
That's the idea.
Okay.
Can we do that in one class? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that last part, it sounds like you might be a little pressed for time on the last component, but if you've provided them with all the steps necessary to like be successful on their own,
Yeah.
then I understand why the thinking would be like, well, the independent practice component could take place outside of class.
Yeah, they could start it there, but at the same time, the idea would be that they can still do that work in class. So our next class,
Oh, okay.
they can be working
Yeah.
on that with me here. So
Perfect.
it wouldn't be homework
Got it.
without me around.
So is there anything else that you would like to kind of tell me about or prep me for in terms of the lesson that I'm going to be observing on Wednesday?
No, not really. I can't think of anything right now, so.
Perfect. All right. Well, then I'll see you Wednesday.
Okay,
All right.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.